And welcome everybody. I don't know, we had a little bit of a technical error there. The music is being goofy, so we're going to get started without the intro music today. The hell with it all. It just must be one of those funky days. It's your host,
It's not Friday
like
yet.
always, Jay in the UP, and
At Steak and Cheese, or known as Dave.
Dave.
Yeah,
All right.
Dave.
Well, you know what? We were supposed to have the co-founder of Pro Football Guru, Julie Voigt, on today. She had some personal conflicts and got a hold of us today and had to reschedule. So instead, we are going to have a double dip on Tuesday. She is going to join her co-founder, Mr. Russell Baxter, when he joins us on Tuesday. So we're getting the entire starting ownership and founders of Pro Football Guru on the show at once with Dave and I. It's going to be a
We'll be
vibing, and we are going to be vibing. Yes, vibing.
That was for you, Russell.
Yes, that was for Mr. Russell. His words, not ours. And I like that attitude. I'm very excited. It's going to be the first time we've had kind of a four-way panel. And
yes,
this is going to. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm definitely excited. It's going to be new for our show.
I like it.
Something we've never done.
I like that Julie adds into the Colts aspect that'll bring into our Packers, and like that's the thing. I don't even know who. I'm gonna have to get with him on that. I just don't know who he follows as a team.
I'm not sure either. I really don't know.
We'll have to find that out. We might have to pry that out of him on Tuesday.
Yeah, we might have to do that. I'm not sure because he really doesn't. He has no affiliation really on any of his Twitter or anything like that. So
I know we got to pry something out of him. I bet you he's like a Steelers fan. I can see it. He's probably the old school '70s Mean Joe Green type of guy.
You know, if I'm going to guess here, if we're going to play a little game here and guess, I'm going to guess that he is going to be one of those guys that has had to cover the NFL so long that he is more of a kind of from a writer standpoint, to steal Mr. Jason Wilde's line. He is a fan of players and stories, not of the team necessarily.
He's got to have something. Every kid grew up with a team.
But I just have a feeling, because it does get hard to be that emotionally attached when you're trying to write stories and be credible. You almost have to force yourself to get away from it. So it is understandable. That's my guess.
You have to be unbiased. Yeah.
Right.
That is
my guess. Okay.
Well,
so
we have some news today.
Yes, we almost forgot about that. Thank you, partner, for that. So let's get right to the...
I have to keep you on track, you wandering man.
Do. All right, go ahead, big guy.
All right, well, the Dolphins extended out Xavier Howard, giving him a deal. I believe it was 5 years, 75 or 76 million, highest paid corner. I mean, he's played well. That's the thing. He's been solid. Why not freaking give him the money to do it? And be getting the recognition, because he's always quarterbacks or wide receivers, you know? Like, it's good to see a quarterback getting some money. And he's been solid. And then another biggie that comes out. I mean, we all knew Cam Chancellor was done. He had a really bad neck injury. I love the way the guy played. He was 110% every single play he was on the field. And it didn't matter what type he was on for special teams, offense, defense. He did it all. I've seen him play offense before, maybe one or two snaps in his career, but still 110% whatever he plays at position. And then Doug Baldwin is unexpected, because a couple months ago, we had reports of saying he might be done for his career and he might be done for only the season, and then just bam, he got cut. Like, it just came as shocking because they don't have. I can't say DK Metcalf is a true number one receiver. Lockett's not. So it makes me saying, like, what are we going to do?
DK Metcalf looks at me as the first bust out of this whole draft. Like, I don't
That's why,
see a
guy to the end of the second round. There's a reason why.
It just all of a sudden they're saying that, you know, I heard a report come out. It was on NFL Live. I was listening to the NFL Live podcast just the other day because, you know, I don't have TV. It's summertime. We all get the story about that, right? Even though it snowed yesterday, 1.5 inches up here. Ridiculous. It's gone now, though.
It was 92 today.
Oh, shut up. I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to hear it.
All right, keep going.
Get done. But they had a report that they were talking about DK Metcalf and that they were up there talking to him in Seattle and that he is trying to work on all these things that people were being negative at. And then they said, well, when you turn on the film, you can see examples of him doing all these things people say they can't, that people are wrong. And it's like, again, okay, so what, you're going to, like, replay the same 5 plays that show him doing those things that we criticize him, that the test show, and, like, not the 155,000 times that he didn't do it correctly or wasn't even asked to because he doesn't really do it that well. And again, it's against very low-level college players where he was at. Like, come on, like, very different against NFL players. I'm just sorry. I was not a fan of his. When you have agility skill tests that are worse than Tom Brady's, who has, like, gone down as, like, the worst combine ever in history. Like, and he's a quarterback and you're supposed to be a receiver. I don't see guys that are good at pressing him, and don't give me that he's 230 pounds. Everybody's big. Like, Kevin King is 6'3", 220. Like, and I know he's hurt. I'm just saying, like, as the first guy off my head, like, there's plenty of big corners. Well, you know, I'm just saying, like, he's not, you know, this isn't college, I guess. So I'm just, sorry, I ran.
I mean, Browner was a big corner. He was 6'3" or 6'4", remember? Brandon Browner, he was big.
Yes, I got off track, though. You were doing a good job. I ranted.
You're okay. So even, I'm going to add another tidbit. DK Metcalf isn't the best receiver to come out of Ole Miss, so I don't even know why people are trying to hype him up in Seattle. A.J. Brown was the best receiver that came out of Ole Miss. To me, that should have been clear-cut number one. Just because DK Metcalf ran fast in a straight line, he ran a slower metrical numbers than Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady runs like a baby giraffe. So,
and he's a quarterback. I mean,
exactly. So that's why I'm just like, okay, DK. Everyone said, oh, he can still break in out of routes. No, the most routes I've ever seen him run in Ole Miss is 0 routes and fade routes down the side. That's what I've seen him run the most.
DK Metcalf as a legitimate, successful receiver, I don't see it happening at all. I'm sorry.
No, it won't. And you know what? Tyler Lockett is all they got from Seattle right now. They got a couple other C-grade receivers there, but there's nothing to go make you go, ooh, ah. But that makes me beg the question, does Seattle call guys like Dez or Crabtree and try to revitalize their career for one or two more years to kind of stick with Russ? And they got the cat to do it.
Russ alive. I'm sorry. Dez would kill Russ.
Anyway,
because here's why. And because look at the personality similarities between a Richard Sherman who ate Russell Wilson alive and they shipped out of town, and Dez Bryant. No, that's not going to happen. Just for that alone.
I got you.
No, because like he can't come to now. I like Dez with Aaron because you can't do that. Aaron will turn around and just eat him alive.
They mesh in personality. That's why. Dez and Aaron will be able to give it back to each other, so they would mesh. Freaking Russell, no, he'd be able to do it, and then that's the thing. He would go cold turkey on him in the offense, and then Dez wouldn't get any more targets. But anyways, I digress. There's something I need to get off my chest, Jay.
You know what? I love this. Do it, dude.
I am sick of people still on the Trevor Davis bandwagon. The guy has been with us for how many years now? He has done nothing. Okay, he's been a good punt returner for us. Like, that's not enough for me to sacrifice a 6th wide receiver spot on the roster, especially when we don't need receivers in a new offense like this with LaFleur's, with more running involved. Plus, you're going to have more tight ends on the field, so we just don't need Trevor Davis. We can find somebody else to come in and do the responsibilities. And I saw a recommendation earlier today that me and Bruce for Pack for the Win were discussing today, and it was one of our draft picks. Can you take a guess which one?
Jenkins.
Oh, really? I hate you. No, it was Kadar Hallman. I think he has closing speed to be able to get
you didn't have to say you hated me. Now I'm going to turn my mic off now. I'm selfish.
I mean, if you want to do that, you might just shut down the whole show. Anyways, all I'm saying, Kadar Hallman has the speed. He has closing speed on tackles and stuff like that. So it makes me think, why not give him a shot at punt returner, see what he can do in camp? Or, I mean, like what Bruce said today, Pack for the Win, perfect example. People were worried about putting Jair Alexander back in the punt return position with his injury history, but yet want Aaron Jones to get 25 touches a game with his injury history. It's really you're playing contradiction to yourself in that aspect, and we need to give someone a shot that's good at punt return. That's the thing. And we can't do it with Trevor Davis. I'm sick of it. He's gotten in trouble with the law before, and Budapest doesn't play around.
Davis isn't even that great of a returner, and he's a terrible receiver. He's not even good at running vertical threats because why?
He hasn't evolved in anything, any aspect.
Like
he hasn't been better.
And Dave, let's agree on one thing. Over under on 5 receivers capped on the 53.
I am going to say 6 because I think they're going to, after what I think seeing Jamon Moore put in the work this year, I think he's going to be the 6th receiver.
Okay, so then does he have punt and kick return responsibilities then?
If you're going to have a receiver do it,
there's just not enough space for me to have more than 5 because to me with this system, you're keeping the 2 tight ends you already have. You're keeping the rookie and you're keeping Tanyan. That's 4. You're keeping the 3 backs they already have, including the Williams rookie. And
now,
they're keeping
you don't
the
know
4th
if the
back.
going to keep Tanyan. That's the thing. You don't know if he's going to keep Tanyan. Because you have
Tanyan,
Jimmy, you have Lewis, you have Jay Sternberger, and now you have Tanyan. And
I'm telling you, Jimmy Graham is not going to block, Dave. He's not. Jimmy Graham is. This is why you're not keeping 5. No, listen to me quickly. You're not keeping 5 receivers, and you're keeping 4 tight ends because 3 of those tight ends are multidimensional. One of them is making $10.5 million and can't freaking block. So you know what he's going to do? He's taking up one of your wide receiver slots because when they go through 11 personnel, he's going to be one of the outside wide receivers because nobody else on that team other than Davante Adams makes that kind of money and he can't block. So that's that right there. So again, I am taking. I'll say 5, but I would much likely say 4 before I would.
You know what? I actually say we're going to keep 3 tight ends. I'm having a hot take right now. I'm calling it. I think because we'll still save some money after June 1st trade. June 1st expected after June 1st trade in training camp. I expect Jimmy Graham to get traded. I've had that on my chest for a while. I think he has a chance to get traded because of the fact he can still gain money for this year for more room to carry into next year with clearing Jimmy. You just brought in Sternberger. You have Mercedes Lewis. You have Tanyan. I mean, that's the thing. Tanyan, I'm not big on, but you still got Mercedes Lewis. He's a blocking tight end, top 5 in the league. I know he's older, but he still puts outside linebackers and edge defenders on their butts. And
yes, he does.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's going to be valuable in this type of offense, and especially because he's an underrated receiver. He had guys that were so bad as QB in Jacksonville. With Rodgers, if you implement the type of plays that LaFleur had in Tennessee for Delaney Walker before he got hurt, I'm telling you, Lewis can be so much of a threat in the receiving game. You just had to give him a chance. Last year, you couldn't get anything because Graham was in.